everybody doing?
What's up, yo? What's happening?
What's up, everybody? What's up? What's going on?
Indeed.
Well,
What? Really? No.
oh my goodness.
Okay. There's a little tomfoolery, just a little.
Every weekend, though?
Why not?
Yes, it's so annoying.
Break
What's
the
up,
monotony.
everybody? How you doing? I haven't seen you since last week.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. Oh,
Seven
so
whole
long
days.
ago. It's really been a while.
So, of course, as you see the title, if you ain't got no daddy, a good mate, you won't make. What exactly does that mean? We're going to explain it after we do our usual toast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Look, you know me. I like to keep it balanced.
You're. If you pour the wine before the show.
I don't wanna.
I know, you're annoying. I may have to start taking over that. Well, anywho, let's start our toast. Hi, Vanya. Peace.
What's up, bro?
Okay, so let's toast to a great show.
Great show.
To you
To you.
guys. And to,
To
us.
us.
Hope you got your wine. What's up, William?
Peace, peace, peace.
Oh, it's so delicious.
Always.
So, today's topic. I saw a post on Facebook. Let me just repeat it again for those that didn't hear it. If you ain't got no daddy, a good mate you won't make. So, one of the things that I was wondering was, I saw a post on social media and I said, you know what? That's a good point to really think about. If you don't have your father in your life, what is the repercussions of that happening as far as you becoming, of you being in a relationship? And I know, Ben, I start off with you, and I'm going to start off with you again.
What?
Why break tradition?
Yeah.
What is your thought on that?
I'm mixed. Because in some cases, I do agree with the title that we're going with completely. You don't have an example. Now, a lot of individuals will turn around and I guess they're looking at TV dads, looking at samples like that, friends, people around them, and get an idea of what they think it should be. But it's not truly a working example because you don't see the nuances, the little things. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
I guess so, but you could explain it.
Look, I'm talking about the day-to-day little things, the interactions between the mother and the father and
Their roles.
And their roles, exactly. And this is very, very true. But it also expands because I do believe in roles. The individuals, the male and the female in a relationship, there is a role to play.
Yes.
And there truly is a role to play. You don't learn those roles, not truly, not really, if you don't have a clear example of that. We hear things and so forth, but at the end of the day, you don't really know. And so you get into a relationship and then conflicts ensue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, conflicts can still ensue.
Conflicts ensue anyway, but that's life. I'm talking about in terms of the male-female relationship, what goes on between them. All right? Look, we're living in a time where views and things are changing. Some not really necessarily for the good. All right?
Okay.
Some of these changes are truly because of necessity. It doesn't make it right, but it is because of necessity. The circumstances dictate what you have to do. But what are your thoughts?
Hey, Sakai. Well, in thinking about that, if your father is not around, what is the impact that it would have as being a good wife for me, a good husband for you? Leading by example is what Yes, absolutely. But I think a father's role is so, so important in a little girl's life. I mean, you get to see, hi Lynette,
Yeah,
provided he's a good dad, an example, because everything is going by from examples from generation to generation. I'm being choked up on my words because I'm really trying to think here. What is an example of a good dad? What's a bad dad? I mean, what exactly is it? Because if you have your father around, I've always talked about dads dating their daughters to give their daughters an example of the type of men that they should have around them. I say that a lot. If we don't if your dad never took you out, if that's something you like, or you see that your dad takes you out to dinner and buys you flowers and treats you like the princess, or in other words, just treating you special, then as you grow older, you won't look for anything less than that. And that makes a man step up his game to make sure that he does right by that woman.
All right, I can get with what you're saying, but generally, it is the daughter looking at how the father treats their mother.
That too.
Not so much that too. That is the average. That's what it has always been.
But that
what
too.
You're talking about, that too. No, that is at a big. That's the base. What you're talking about, not to say it's in second place, but it does fall secondary. You may look. The father may not be in a position to sit up here and do his daughter the way you're describing, but he treats his wife like a queen. He treats her, so on and so forth. The daughter is watching this, and she's like, yeah, I know. I see what my dad, how my father treated my mother. I want to be treated like that, too.
Yes. Okay,
Not necessarily that daddy had to go out there and buy her flowers and take her out and say, no.
You should do that, too.
If he can.
Of course, if he can.
That's what I'm saying. Let's not get it twisted. We're talking about normal, everyday life.
But yes, so my thing, of course, when I said that, I think that because even in schools now they have daddy-daughter dances for dads to go and take their daughters out and show her a good time. That's something she's not going to see when dad is taking mommy out and they're having dates. So she doesn't know.
Wait. I have heard about that, but excuse my ignorance of this, all right? Maybe it's been so long since I've been in school because I don't remember ever.
No, it's something new that's
something new, okay?
Yeah,
so
it's to keep families together. William, I'm reading some comments really quick. William said, well, to be honest, my dad wasn't around all the time. I was actually raised by my grandmother, and I think she did a stellar job, although I could be biased. And so God says, so what happens when he's not in the house? Well, see, that's what I was thinking. If he's not in the house,
then they start gathering their own ideas on it. You start reaching and searching for other places to get this information.
Well, see, when I'm saying when he's not in the house, the father can still be a father to his child. He doesn't have to be with that woman. And this is where taking his daughter out, buying her flowers, and still buying the mother flowers as well.
If they're not together?
Even if they're not together.
No.
He appreciates the fact that and respects her as the mother of his child.
One of the problems that I have with what you just said is the fact that especially in not rural, but urban communities.
Lord, here we go.
Yo, it's true. Mommy, the individuals, the whole baby, what is it? My baby mama and all that type of thing. There's a lot of beef. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of issues. And this is a truth. And we are exposed to all of that. So, my take on that is, all right, fine. Those two do not have to necessarily get along with each other. But how the father conducts himself in general things which he allows his daughter to see will also have that impact. All right? Because if he's treating the chick like some street chick, she's looking at that.
Right, and if he treats her golden, treats the mother of his child golden, the daughter also sees that as well.
Nah, but if she sees him with, say, someone else, and the other relationship,
yeah,
let's say like
the new
that,
relationship, he treats that woman beautiful as well too.
Right.
And the daughter's around that, she will see that,
yes,
and still see her father as a stellar stand-up guy and would not accept anything less from the man that she's with. So if she's with a man that she's an adult, and she's with a man, and the man says, and he's treating her mother like crap, or he's treating the mother of his child like crap, then why would she want to be with him?
Indeed.
What kind of example is he setting for that child?
Agreed.
And that woman is looking at that and saying, well, you know, my parents weren't together, and he didn't treat my mother like the way I see my man treating the mother of his child.
Yeah.
So that's things that she wouldn't accept. I'm gonna go back to some comments. Vanya said, so we're being double punished. Our dad leaves us, and we're being punished for not acting like we're from a functional family.
Kind of.
Yeah. And Douglas is saying, what if the mother ain't shit? Listen, Doug, what I am speaking of today is the importance of the role that a parent places, in this instance, the father, on what is the ramifications of him not being in his children's life. I am speaking from the daughter perspective, and Ben, we're going to also touch on the son's perspective on that, on how to treat a woman. Yes, there are bad mothers as well as there are bad fathers. This really isn't what this show is about. It's more about the children. Now, Cigar made a statement, if the father isn't in the children's life, they take on role models from elsewhere. Right. Exactly. Right. And that's one of the things that I want to touch on today, is that we are our children's role models as much as we can. Now, there are instances where the father is deceased, and, but that should be where we all come together as a unit. Uncles, fathers, and
big
brothers, uncles,
close family, friends,
all
whatever.
of that stuff that all come together. Basically, what I'm saying is, let's bring this village back, so that our children are not going through finding people in the street to be their role models.
But that has been the case for a while now.
Right.
That has truly been the case for so many different reasons. But that the man is not in the house, okay, or there.
Or not in the child's life. Because it doesn't necessarily have to be
in the house
with the mother. That's not
true.
Where I'm going with this. If he's with the mother, that could be fine. I know of relationships where the mother and father were together, and that was a big disaster. So I know of instances like that as well. Yeah. So it's just, what is your role as a father, and what it truly means to be a father, and making, is there really an understanding that you now have to be a role model to that child?
If you are responsible, yes, you are aware of the children, and you will take on this role.
Yes.
All right, to perpetuate this in order to pass this on to the kids.
Yes, okay? Absolutely.
And on this, I do agree. But there are so many instances. Again, everything is circumstantial. What is the situation? Like you said, good mothers, good fathers, bad fathers, and It's the mix. You know, I mean, as we're thinking about it, I'm really getting kind of tongue-tied in the sense of, wow.
Yeah.
Where and how do I go with this? Now, me, personally, I had those examples in my life. All right? I had a role. Heck, I was pulled to the side and taught, literally, do A, B, C, D. Do this, do that. Do this, do that. Okay?
Can I get the call?
Go ahead, take the call.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hi. This is Stephanie from New York. How y'all doing today?
Hey,
Good. Hi,
Steph.
Stephanie. How are you?
I'm good. I'm sitting.
Oh, shoot.
You know
Stephanie,
what?
call back. I
That's
accidentally
right.
hung up on you.
Miss Busybody here just hung up
I
on
was
you.
trying to turn up the volume. I'm sorry.
Steph, please call back. Yo.
I'm sorry.
Busybody.
Okay. So, Stephanie, please call back. I really want to hear your opinion.
That was just.
Okay, Ben.
And I actually watched you. I saw your finger
So
go.
that doesn't make. I wasn't watching me. Had you been
Exactly.
watching me, you could have slapped my hand away. But
No,
you
I
didn't do
know.
that.
I would have smacked the wine in the
Well,
process.
we're not gonna have that.
Exactly. That wouldn't have been cool. Thank you.
Hi, Stephanie.
Yeah, last Steph. Yeah, busybody here.
I'm gonna let Ben control the
Dang,
volume.
you really don't want to hear my point of view, huh?
I sure do. I want to hear you. Tell me what's going on.
Okay. I'm listening to you guys. I just wanted to touch a little bit on the dating your daughter thing.
Yes.
And I touched on that a little bit with my kids when they were little. I did have one-on-one time, but because I only have the one son, I felt like it was important for him to spend some time with me and to treat me like I would like him to treat his lady. So there were things that I requested that he do, open the door for me and, pull out my chair and little things like that.
Yes.
So that he will say, okay, this is different. I also, if we were out with his sisters, I would also request that he do that with them too.
Yes.
I do notice now that a lot of that has stuck with him. But something else I wanted to address that you mentioned about what is that good man or well, I don't know if you said the good woman or the good mom, but for me, in my opinion, I look back and I say, what did my father actually teach me? What did I learn from him? What did I get from him?
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of men out there and women, you have a lot of people that have children, and they're providing for their children like they're supposed to, but what do they actually teach them?
Yes.
And I think that's where you would say this is a good man in this child's life because this is what this child learns from him. That's good, of course.
Yes.
This is what this my son learned to be employed or to keep a job, or he learned to respect women. He learned to provide for his family. Something he learned from this man, that's what would make him a good man to be around. Because every father is not a good man. I'm sure we all know that.
Yes.
And so many people say, oh, the man, he walked away. He should be there. He should be there. Well, some of them need to walk away and let a real man come in and do his part. Some of them need to disappear. However, that's a whole other show, a whole other topic.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, I think that that for me, it's what did he actually teach these children indirectly on what it's like to be a father, a man, a provider, disciplinarian, and all the good things that man is supposed to do in a household.
Yeah.
And that's my opinion.
Well, thank you so much.
you,
I
Steph.
agree with you 1,000%.
Indeed.
Well, thank you, dear.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Please. Yes.
Now, Stephanie brought us some good points. And what were the lessons? Again, lessons are imparted. I mean, all right, you have the sit down, let me talk to you and tell you something lesson, but then you have the actual learn by example. I'm watching you. He's watching me.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? And for example, let's take me. Believe it or not, something simple as being on chores. Mm-hmm. All right? In my house, we're at chores. Okay? That gave me the lesson of, look, you got to take care of your house. You've got to have some pride about yourself. Don't let your house be all messed up, blah, 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 blah. That type of thing. Yes. I learned a lot over the years in that respect. Comes to the house and she will tell you, that's what I do. This has got to be clean. This has got to be done. We got to do this. We got to do that. Stop that. Pick that up. That's one thing in terms of taking care of the home. Going to work, without a doubt. What was the lesson that was imparted? Romance without finance is a goddamn nuisance. That's the way it was run to me. Okay? And I remember that lesson well. Okay? So it was like, look, you ain't getting nowhere unless you work. And even in the house where, even just a girlfriend, not necessarily your wife. There, again, we got roles that had to be played. Okay? But then, again, that was the man's thing because we're supposed to be the providers. We're supposed to be the protectors. That type of thing. And, yes, only a man can actually impart that, and primarily by example, especially now. Females scream that. And a lot of dudes who have not been raised around that don't get it. It's misinterpreted.
How so?
Why? Why should I? You using me? You know what I'm saying? Why am I supposed to do that for you? See, which now takes me down into something that's a little slightly off topic about being worthy. All right? Everyone has to be worthy. Hear me. Just by virtue of the fact that you're female, I've come into your life and we've been together for a week. Hear me. That does not mean that I'm supposed to now do all of that which is required of me for you. Why? Because of the fact that on the other side, what environment did you come out of? Because if you now think that I'm supposed to just do this for you, but you're not even worthy of me doing that.
Let me stop you right there. I'm going to get to that. I just want to read a comment. Vanya said, I'm gonna get to that in a second. Vanya said, growing up, I wanted a brother and a father, and I didn't have any. Ben is kind of both of those to me. Oh, okay. Thank you. He's your brother. So God has, he is feeling the conversation. He got 2 drinks today. That's great. And yes, William, accidents do happen when I accidentally hung up. But one of the things that you said was, here's the thing. This is what I mean about leading by example. When you're in a household that's raised correctly and done correctly, you don't worry about a woman just trying to get you for get you for your money or got you for your money or anything like that. You have this conversation with this woman to find out how she grew up before it even gets to a point where there's any money or anything else. You listen. All we have to do is listen and find out exactly how this woman grew up or how this man grew up, and try to have an understanding of, well, I grew up the same way or I didn't grow up the same way, and then you make your decision from there. Too many people are forcing themselves into relationships that they honestly shouldn't be in because you were raised 2 different ways, and you're constantly clashing, and you're going to clash all the way through the relationship, and then at the end of the day, you're going to end up having kids, and that's going to make things worse. And here we are today with a lot of the chaos that we have today.
Exactly.
Right, and Stephanie and Vanya said, I agree. We also get to pick. And then Stephanie said, if she ain't worthy, why are you there?
But now, see, you just said it. Answering your question, what you just said,
right,
Steph.
I answered it.
See, the thing, no, you didn't answer it. Hear me, no. I'm saying you brought it up.
Yes.
Look, it's going into the relationship.
It's
look.
not going into the relationship because you already have standards of what you're going to do and what you're not going to do.
You have ideas, but...
We got a call.
God. Yo.
Hi.
Greetings.
Peace.
Sir God, calling from Patterson, New Jersey.
Hi, Sir God.
Yeah, listen, first off, like for me, when I made this post, I was coming from an aspect of like, I'm a product of a single parent home. And my stepfather, who I could say was in my life for 20 years, we'll say 20, he didn't really get involved, but he wasn't invested in my upbringing like my biological would have. So a lot of times, like now I look back on it and I say, yo, he should have whipped my ass a little more, which might have curbed some of the things that I was doing. But being that he didn't, what happened was my mother ended up trying to raise me, and I can say for certain that my role models were Shala, who hung out on 12th Ave. I always saw her with the quarter bill, or my neighbor Ricky Graves. These guys were like, you know, people I looked up to because they was cool.
Right.
My mother did the best that she could do, and I also felt some type of envy towards some of my friends who had both their parents. So, like, when they had the little get-together or whatever, the father-son type moments or whatever in school, whatever type of event, I just didn't, you know, I didn't sweat it. It didn't apply to me, you know what I mean? I just knocked it off. But, like, my stepfather did, however, expose me to a lifestyle that I think that is detrimental, because when I did hang out with him, I was allowed to see him and the people he hung with who was, they shot dice, they smoked weed. Actually, my stepfather made a pact with me. He's like, yo, because I seen him talking to another woman, and he told me, don't tell my mother. You know, like, this is a man's thing. We don't go back and tell on each other. And I accepted that, which kind of like taught me in a way, oh, shit, this is what we do. You know, this is what we do as men. You know, we play the women, we manipulate or whatever. Now, I watched my sister, that's his daughter, my stepfather's daughter. He was invested in her upbringing, and she turned out to be magnificent. I mean, she was found a good man. Whereas when I made the post, I was thinking more so as like I look at the girls now who are by themselves raising children, and they got the girls, the little baby girls, twerking in videos on Instagram, you know, teaching them that money is the all in all.
Yep.
And I think that there was one video I saw where the mother was teaching the daughter, well, not teaching her, but allowing her to do grown-up twerking and stuff like that on the video, and the father walked in the room, and the little girl instantly stopped. You know, it says that the father actually can curb that behavior, because there's no father there that, I hate to say it, but little girls are being raised to be fox.
Yes.
Because they're almost like acceptable.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Indeed, brother. Absolutely.
Let me ask you
yeah,
something.
so,
Let me ask
yeah, I'm
you
listening.
something. Your stepfather, was he raised with both his parents?
Yeah, he's a country boy. He's country. He came up here after the army, and he was doing his thing. I mean, I learned, to be honest with you, I learned how the numbers game works. I learned how the craps work. You know, he probably didn't even notice that I was paying so much attention to him, but that, you know, I was looking up to him because that was the first man in my life. And then when he lied to me and I brought it up to my mother, she said, oh, that's what he do. He's a liar. Okay, well, lying is cool. That's what men do. there was always like a male bashing that took place. And it kind of made me rebellious as well because when I think I was 14, I was taller than my mother, and she couldn't beat me with no belt. I'd take the belt from her. You know, I kind of like was doing what I wanted to do. That's what got me put out at 16, but, you know, and like I said, I was following the role model of the street guys. You know, I looked up to them, and I found out when they take them vacations and when they be disappearing for 3 or 4 months or a year. Yeah, now I know where they go.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. I definitely appreciate that. Wow.
Yeah, thank you for taking my comment.
Goodbye.
Yo, nah, what he just dropped, now see, I was trying to get around that. That's what I was speaking when I was talking about individuals look elsewhere.
But
a lot of single family.
He made it very clear. His first example was his stepfather, and that's what he showed him.
Wait, no. But did you also see, in that same instance,
he went running.
He took care of his daughter.
Yeah.
But he didn't take care of him. See, basically, this is where I'm coming from when I say we got to get fixed.
Right. So now we go back to the original father.
Let me finish.
Go ahead, finish.
Look. My point is gone again.
Well, mine isn't. The point I was trying to make, I got to stop it. The point I'm making is that had his father been around, he could have been that guide for him.
Look, it's still deeper than that. No, in this instance, no, I disagree. It didn't even matter that his father wasn't around, his biological. There was a man in the house. As a man,
he's supposed to be.
He was supposed to sit up here and check the house.
But
and that's what it was. And he did not.
He only cared about his.
Yeah, he only cared about his. See, that separation between us, amongst us, yo, that's got to be stopped. Now, the whole question of whether or not, see, that even throws it in there. What's the title again? If you got no daddy. Well, in that instance, it still applies. He had no daddy.
No, he didn't.
All right, and so man in the house is a relative statement.
Because this, okay. State your name and where you're calling from. Hey.
Hi. This is Stephanie again.
Yes,
hi, Stephanie.
I just wanted to respond to the caller, and actually to what Ben is saying. I so disagree with you right now.
What?
Yes, because what you said that it doesn't matter if his biological father was around.
I'm talking
that the stepfather has the basically the more influence. I disagree with that because I've seen it happen where the father is there and he's always there. So the mom could go on and she could date the next guy and they could get married and have a cool life and all of that. But as long as that father's presence is in that household with his child, even though he doesn't live there, that child has that father to look at and to look up to. And that's going to be the first man that he's going to look up to because it always has been. And that stepfather could be cool, he could be good and everything, but he's never going to replace a father who's already there doing for that son what he should have been doing.
Yeah.
Or treating him the way he should be treating him. You can't replace that.
But Steph, the question now is whether or not that man was there. If he was never there, then what are you saying?
She's saying if he was there.
But in that particular
case, I'm saying if he was there.
No, he wasn't
but
there.
However,
go ahead, Stephanie.
However, I think it's more on the mom to interfere in that type of situation
The mother had no
where
idea.
the stepfather comes in and he's providing more for his child, then I think that's where, the moms. I don't feel comfortable speaking on someone's mom, so I don't want to say any further.
Right.
But
see,
I think that's where it would be a little more complicated to know what did she do? How did that? We see how it affects him, but how did it affect mom? That's what I want to say. How did it affect mom to know that he was there more for his child than for her child?
Okay.
You know what?
You know?
Wait. I can speak on that just a little bit.
Wait. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Stephanie, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
No, in that particular instance, because see, this is where, again, like I said, it's situational. It's based on the individual. Our brains have been skewed to such a degree. Now, in that particular case, the way she just said it was on the moms at that point. Indeed. Well, let's look at that.
On the mom.
You said what was. Mom. If you're looking at this dude, your son was here first.
She didn't know.
Wait a minute. Hold up.
She didn't know that there was a difference. Remember, when we hear this speaking, and I'm sorry, Sir God, that we're going off of your example.
Sir God, and I am sorry about that, but see, on this, I've got to speak. Did you hear what he said?
I did hear what he said.
Did you?
Yes, he is coming from a child's perspective.
No,
on what happened. He showed his daughter an example, but did not show the same example to his stepson.
What?
The mother did not.
You're saying she did not know. Excuse me. My brother just sat up here and said out of his mouth, he himself was acting out. He did something wrong. He's taking the belt from her. He's there. The father was there.
Right. And he said
he was supposed to step in. Come on, man. This is what a man's role.
Okay, we got a call.
Good afternoon, Joe.
Hi. Yes.
Yo, speak, brother.
It's funny. This is a topic that is kind of sensitive to me because I understand what Sir God is saying, but I had a father that opted out.
Yes, Doug.
For a period of time in my life, and I had a stepfather that stepped in, and he kind of stepped in, tiptoeing in. In other words, his demeanor, his way of being was not a hands-on. But I learned, or I chose who to follow by the example set. My stepfather worked. That was my first job. But when it came to me, kind of stayed back until the intensity of my actions caused him to have to step in because my mother couldn't do it. So he kind of got involved. But it wasn't to put the hands on, because I definitely needed somebody to put their hands on. My father wasn't there, but the fear of my father kept me in line to a degree.
So what do you mean your father wasn't there? I'm confused.
Huh?
I'm confused. On one instance, you say if your father was there, that scared you, but you're saying he wasn't there.
My parents split up very early in my life.
Okay.
And my father was known as a bad dude. I tried to live up to being as bad as my father's reputation was.
Okay, so let me
that was my first dream in life.
Let me cut you off really quick, Doug. Doug, let me cut you off real quick.
Yeah.
Who told you that your father had a bad life? Your father was a bad person.
The reputation was, and both my father and I were Doug. So, Big Doug is coming? Yeah, So I tried to live up to that, being as much of a man as I could be at my stage in life, trying to live up to the reputation of my father.
Okay.
He was known as kind of a bad boy.
Mm-hmm. Bad boy like how?
Like, don't fuck with him. That's the one person you don't want to bother.
Okay.
My mother could reach me with everything she could reach in her hand to hit me with. But if she said, I'm calling your father, I straightened up right away.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
Okay?
But he was.
And I'm talking, I saw my father once a week for a period of time, and then I didn't see him at all for a while.
Okay.
But the thought of, I'm calling your father when it was something bad, struck terror to made me straighten right up.
Okay.
You see?
Yes.
And my stepfather, who was physically able to do everything my father could do, in other words, keep me in line, he really did. He was very soft-spoken. He would speak to me in certain ways. He would rationalize with me. Never put his hands on me. And the craziest thing is, my father hit me, disciplined me once, 11 times with my belt on my left hand. Why does that stick out? Because that's the only time he's ever put his hands on me with all the craziness I got into.
Wow.
Okay? And I took examples from both of them to decide what kind of man I was going to be. And, you know, when you talk about that, dating your daughter
Yes.
and stuff, that's the example that you did your father, so this is how a man's supposed to treat a woman. Well, I took my examples of being a man from how the both of them carried themselves and took the pieces that I thought were most important and made them my code of ethics, the way I walk.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, I wanted to be, don't mess around, hit them big dogs, because big dogs ain't playing. And that's how I've carried myself. That's how I've kind of gone through most of my life, with the examples both of them set for me.
Okay.
Indeed. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I can elaborate, but I know Angel about to kick me off with that. Hello, thank you so much for calling me. Talk to you later. So I was talking to you later.
And on that note, thank you so much for your opinion. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Doug.
All right, look. I've got to, all right, no, that's another example. Again, situational. But I just got to step back for a minute to what Sir God was saying. The very fact that he could act up in that house and taking a belt from his mother, he didn't care because he allowed it. The role of a father is the man is supposed to set the tone. If the kids are still sitting up here doing it, he ain't doing nothing. He ain't doing nothing.
Again, we're taking it from a perspective of a child who is now an adult. So there could have been background things going on that, for example, and no disrespect at all, the mother could have said, "You're not allowed to say anything to my child. I will deal with him, and you deal with our child."
And that is the other side.
We got another call.
Y'all gonna get
State your name
man.
and where you calling from.
All right, hold on, I have to take a drink. This is Sir Guy calling from Patterson.
Yes, Sir God. I don't know if you just heard
Yeah,
what you said.
I'm going to need a little bit of extension here, Drill. All right, let me help you out, right? My biological father went to Vietnam, came back, relocated in Chicago. I never heard from him. Well, I'll be lying. I heard from him on the phone previous, and when 14 hit, I kind of made up my own goddamn mind about him. My stepfather, he was working at UPS, but he ran numbers and he sold weed on the side. He had his lifestyle. I was a part of that lifestyle. I saw that lifestyle. I liked that lifestyle. He wore the big hats, all the shoes, he drove a Cadillac, all that shit was great to me. That's what I got out of it. My mother, I believe, now looking back at it, didn't allow him to chastise me the he could have, because I think I was 15 or 16, and he decided to get involved and gave me that beating. He beat me because after the beating, I was walking around with a frown on my face. So I got a second beating. And then he put me on punishment. And then when I broke the punishment, he came and found me. So if he would have gotten involved when I was maybe 10 or 11, I found out kind of early. I told you I got arrested when I was 8. So if he would have gotten involved earlier, things might have changed, been different. But I was 16. I was kind of already in my rebellious state because after that whooping or whatever, and he came in front of me, I ended up, I did the punishment, but now I'm more so in the street. I'm in this, like, to the street whereas, I ain't even going home because I know I ain't getting in. The top lock is on and I don't have the key for that. I might as well just stay out here till 5, 6 in the morning. So that became the regular thing with me. I used to run from him, everybody, because they never tried to discipline me or whatever. I just ran. But like I said, there was earlier involvement, things would have been different. And so when I say there was no investment, the same investment as there was with his daughter, is because it's kind of like the same route that I would take. That's my daughter. I got some say-so in her life. Whereas I wanted his child. So when my mother said, stood. And he had to respect that or he can get his behind out the house.
Yes.
And so I go on to say, like, later in life, I grew up, and then that's when I recognized all these different things, but I could have learned these things earlier if he would have been involved. My biological, now, mind you, I did go stay with my biological after I got, what can I say? That's funny. I got kicked out of fucking Jersey. I got kicked out. The court sentenced me, instead of sending me to Jamesburg, they said they're going to send me out to live with my biological. I went out there, and I seen the type of person that my biological father was. Now I'm better understood why my mother didn't want him in her life, because he was a woman beater, manipulator. I mean, he was dirty. And I actually bear witness to him doing these things to his new girlfriend. However, my sisters and brothers out there, he's in their life. Their life was hunky-dory. And I'm like, wow. Because he came with them, he gave them that militant discipline. They don't have none of the problems I have. My mother taught me the best that she could. And one of the things that she used to say was, learn how to do this so that you'll never have to depend on a woman for anything. Learn how to wash your clothes. Learn how to cook. Learn how to keep a house. And she did a very good job because look at me now. There ain't no damn woman around here that I'm dependent on. And I'm doing things well. But at the same time, like, if my father was there, I never knew certain regular things that I think I learned when I was 35, 40. You know what I mean? I could have learned those things earlier. You know what I mean? I was busy looking up at Shah and Ricky and Raheem and them, and all they were showing me was how to sell a little bit of weed, you know, and dress fly.
Yes.
And that was, to me, and the only thing I could say that they were doing that I wasn't doing was making the babies. But I was playing around with the women because that's what men do. We play women. We go from one woman to the next woman.
Thank you.
And that was the order of business. Now, with that said, I'm going to sign off and we can talk about it some more. I don't mind you guys talking about it either. I love it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, he made a good point. Stephanie said she was having a very hard time hearing and understanding him. He still, listening to everything that was said, it still was living by an example of what was going on in the household. As I stated before, based on everything that he said, coming from him being an adult now in a child's eyes, to me it said, Mom said, don't say anything to my son. I'll deal with it. There. I've been there as a mother. Don't say anything.
Yeah, I know that too.
To my child. I've been there. I get it. But this in turn is what we see as an example. But what he did do instead was then turn him on to something else that was totally outside of what should have been told, because he didn't treat him like a child. He treated him like a little man.
Yeah.
And that was the problem as well. But see, one of the things that I want to say is that we all have a responsibility when we're making these babies and we're bringing them into the world, is actually teaching them to be adults so that they end up with not having kids all over the place by different people or or spending a life in prison because they've become a career criminal. We all have a responsibility, and the people that we bring into our lives, if the father is no longer in the household, that father's job doesn't end. I'm only speaking of the fathers. I am not talking about the mothers. That's a whole other episode.
Wait. But see, just speaking on that one point, you're not their father. You are not. This does bring the woman back in, because if a man cannot be what he is that child, if he can't be that,
he could have still been there. He chose not to.
He chose not to
because he showed him other things instead.
Oh.
He showed him other things instead. He didn't teach him nothing.
Yeah.
He still showed him something.
No,
and he showed him something in a negative way.
No, but see, there are instances where it's beyond that. There are individuals who are not showing him that.
I know, but I'm talking about that particular instance.
No, I'm with the topic.
The topic
whether
is,
or
if you
not,
ain't got no daddy, a good mate you will not make.
If you cannot actually interact to teach, everybody is different. How people learn is how they learn as individuals. And in order to do that, you have to be in their life. Now, really in their life. Not on the sidelines, and I can peripherally do this, because if I'm going to be on the sideline and I can't do this, then you're forcing me to go far beyond even who necessarily I am. Because if I teach, or if I am this particular way, but yet I see an issue, but I'm stymied, and then as in Sir God's instance, he started young. He was already in this frame of mind.
Because he was introduced to it by his stepfather.
No, he said that when he was 8, he said no. When that man came in, he's talking about 14, 15, 16. He said he got arrested when he was 8. He was already of a particular state of mind.
No, he wasn't. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. I think there was a communication block there. Nobody taught Sir God about the birds and the bees. He did make that statement. Douglas said it does take 2 to make a baby. Sir God, and then Doug said it takes a village to raise a child. So the thing is, you're absolutely right. It does take a village. One of the things that I said earlier in the show is when you're choosing a mate, one of the things is that you have to have common ground on how you all were raised.
Oh, but wait a minute. But this is what I did.
Similar backgrounds.
You have to.
Similar backgrounds, because then there wouldn't be an issue with, well, you know what, don't chastise my child. Because if somebody says that, then they've already seen something, or they're a little concerned about the way that you're handling that child, just by things that you're saying, certain vocal things about how you're expressing certain things. Yes,
that's not true.
Yes, it is.
That is not true.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes,
I've seen individuals react, don't even talk to my child because the child was wrong, but it doesn't matter. They don't necessarily know you to that point, but they're still. But because they already
they don't know you to that point, you shouldn't be saying anything to someone's child if they don't know you to that point.
Wait a minute. If they're around you to that point that you need to speak.
If I'm having a conversation with you, and you and I are talking, and I know that you grew up a specific way that might be a little different from the way I grew up, I may not want you to say anything to my child.
Then y'all don't have a relationship.
Okay.
Not in terms of that, because if there are already children there, then let's move on. Period. If that's the case, there's nothing to even discuss. Where can y'all go? Now, in terms of that child, it's not going to happen.
Right, because then other things happen and then the relationship falls apart. I agree with that. Douglas says, it takes a village to raise a child. Children grow into the person they're going to be by their environment. Yes. Women are naive. So God said, women are naive at a young age, and older guys play on that, but that's a different story. Yes, absolutely true. Stephanie agrees with Ben. At the end of the day, and that's good that you agree with Ben, at the end of the day, if you're raised a certain way and it's something different, you may not want. Listen, we can't have it both ways. On one instance, let's talk about step-parents and the fathers that are in child's lives, but they're not the biological father. On one instance, we see on the news how a stepfather beats the child to death and everybody wants to yell, where was the mother? How come she didn't say anything?
Facts.
She should be burned at the stakes, blah, 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 blah. And then on the next second, when the mother is saying, you know what? I'm not ready for you to say anything to my child. Don't say anything. It's the same thing. Where's the mother? She should be burnt at the stakes, blah, 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 blah. It's the same thing. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't.
That's why I said it's situational. It's a case by case. It is a
case by case.
It is in straight.
And unfortunately, the children that are not here today, because the stepfather killed that child, that mother had no idea that that man was going to murder their child. So the mother who is watching this and sees this going on is like, you know what? You're just my boyfriend. I don't want you saying anything to my kid. I will take care of my kid. I will handle him. What? Why is your lips twisted?
What if you've gotten married?
Well, if you've gotten married.
This ain't no boyfriend. You are
okay,
married.
You're married. And you see which one? I allow you to beat my kid and then you kill him and I got to live with that for the rest of my life and I slit my throat? Or, you know what? I want to play it on the safe side until I know that you love that child. Don't say nothing to him. Until I know you love that child. Until I know you love that child that's like, you love that child like it's your own. Don't say anything to my child.
If you got a hellraiser, it's going to be kind of hard for you to see that.
At the end of the day, if you don't love my child, don't say anything to him. If you just like him, don't say anything to him. I want you to love my child. I want you to love my child like this is your own. I want you to give your life up for this kid if something happens. If you're not willing to do that, don't say nothing to him.
Now, wait a minute. If I'm willing to give up my life, then you damn right I'm going to kick your ass if I need to.
Absolutely.
But if that is not...
Mama's going to see that.
What? Not true.
Yes, true.
Not true.
Yes, true.
Not true.
Yes, true.
Not.
I can't even get into the things that I want to say on this.
No.
One of the things,
absolutely not.
One of the things
That's
that I would ask a child,
that's a
ask
straight
a person,
lie. That ain't even an opinion.
We got a call. Hey, thank you for calling.
Hello. Yeah, this is Doug. I'm back.
Hi, Doug.
How can you tell someone not to say something to your child if you bring them into your life or you bring that person around that? That's just crazy. How about don't bring that person around the person until you know them well enough to say you can be around them and you're going to be a family?
Okay.
All right. I didn't even deal with that. Yeah.
But see, Doug, at the end of the day, I agree with you, but at the end of the day, you can't be new coming in. And when I say new, it depends on how the comfortability of that mother, when that stepfather comes into play. You can't be new trying to chastise my child and beat my child until I know you love him as your own. And if I don't see that, there's a lot of work that needs to be done.
Well, see, that's the problem. These broken families come together before people even know each other.
Exactly.
You know, you got the same way you got to know the person, you think you like them, and now you want to be together, and then you find out the real person. Because you know how we are, our representatives meet, and then we meet. And then when something snaps, the real person comes out, and then we have these awful cases where the baby got killed, the mother got killed, why was the mother not there? I understand all of that.
Yes.
That's why we don't have no kids, you know? Because I wasn't an abused child, but I didn't like the way I grew up. And I wasn't going to subject any child of mine to the possibility that I was not going to be there. So until I was 100% sure a mother, I was not having no kid. And that's just me. So I understand what you're saying about, oh, don't say nothing to my child, but if you've been with someone in your young life and someone around you, y'all have to work on it together with raising them children and taking care of them children as well as taking care of each other.
Yes.
Yo,
So where are you coming from? But you can't put it all on that person if you don't make sure, if your skills on interviewing aren't that great, maybe you need to find another route to go.
Okay. All right.
Good one. That's good, Doug. That's
Thanks,
great.
Doug.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
And which is my whole point. Because if I'm to that point, look, if we ain't on, look, this is wrong. And you are going to, your whole thing is that's my kid. You can't be, or, nah, man. That ain't, see, let me back up. Number one, see, that's the problem with kids what is the word I'm looking for? Kids that already exist. Two people come together, they meet each other. They're clicking between them. They're clicking. And on a female's point of view, I see that. She's looking at, oh, I like him. He works for me. Me? But I got kids. These are all, these other personalities and characters are independent of her. Okay? Now the question of whether or not those personalities clash now with this other new personality. All of this got to be taken into account. And it's real. It's real. All right? The female that turned around, the stepfather killed the kid, is because, and she didn't see it. You're saying she didn't see it. Why she didn't see it? She didn't see it because he was into her. He was into her and she was into him.
Right.
The kid was outside of them.
Right.
All right. And so,
right.
And it's been vice versa. The female meet the dude is taking care of his kid, but she hates the kid. Okay, and so there's a lot.
Then you can't chastise my kid. Listen, it's all about comfortability. Stephanie said, "Love and respect my child," and that takes time.
And that does take time.
That takes time.
No, but the first thing is
sit there and say anything.
Y'all
Sandy
have got
said,
to be on the page first. Y'all got to be on the page before the kid ever comes in.
And I'm talking about stepchild. The kid's already there.
No, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay, wait. And Sandy said you can't cohabitate in a house with kids and the dad can't say anything.
Thank you, Sandy.
I understand he's not hitting the child until a better relationship is established. Right, he can say everything he wants to say.
But whether
But until I feel comfortable with it.
No, but
Stephanie agreed with Sandy.
Hold it. But that's the whole point. For it to even get that way, it's supposed to be a united front. If there's a united front, the hands-on doesn't even necessarily even have to happen. All right? If there's a unified thing about what's going on here. But if it's automatically, there's a separation between you two, that's a problem. That's a problem. Yeah, that kid could get killed real easy.
Right.
All right, so come on, man.
But see, that's the thing. That's the thing you always wonder about. Is that you got to sit there and say, okay, you're in a relationship with this man. He's great. He's loving. But he's still kind of new. I want to see his interactions with my kid. Because it's easy to chastise a kid, especially a kid with problems. But can you love that kid?
Wait a minute.
If you don't love that kid,
you just put let's not add problems. When you're
we're
saying
gonna
problems,
say
what
the
kind
kid's
of
a
problem?
problem. The kid's a pain in the ass. The kid's always whining. The kid's always doing something. The kid's always in trouble. The kid's a pain in the ass. He's a hard to love kid.
Okay. Now,
I'm gonna ask you, I'm gonna put it to you. Can you love a hard to love kid? And you better be honest.
First of all, at the end
be honest. Can you love a hard to love
let me
kid?
answer the question. You can't just drop something like that because there are individuals who on a person that, look, they're individuals you ain't never had a word between each other and vibe. You just can't stand them, and you can't even speak on that.
You still didn't answer the question.
No, I am. Because you can turn around, this kid can be a pain in the ass, but you still love him. Because you're click like that.
Can you love a kid that's a pain in the ass?
It's possible, but you can't say that. You can't say it blanket. Look.
I want you to think about.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
no,
see. No,
exactly. You can't. No, I'm not answering that question like that. No, you ain't tricking me. The point I'm saying is that there are people who don't get along and they never spoke a word to each other. The question is there a possibility? You got to get past A before you can get to B.
To be honest, since you can't even answer the question, you actually did answer the question.
No one can answer that question.
Therefore, yes, can you love?
Nobody
can
can
you
answer
love
that
a
question.
kid that's hard to love? Can you sit there and be partial to a child? I'm talking about a child that's a pain in the ass, always doing something. Can you be objective to them and love them like your own? Because you're going to love your own pain in the ass kid, or you're going to love that woman's pain in the ass kid. And to be honest, just because you're not saying anything, the answer to that is no. Therefore, no, you could not.
You know what? No. You can sit up here and say what you just said, but no. And I disagree. Utterly. All right? Okay. Again, I meant what I said. You're talking about someone outside of you. This is human. Now, forget everything else. We're talking human. You can't say that.
Give me 1 second. Hey, thank you for calling.
Yes, this is God.
Hi, sir.
Can you hear me? I don't want to be too muffled and all that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's probably my mic, but go ahead.
Okay, well, I've been in that situation where, as a stepfather, and basically I can say that the child, I mean, this chick was out of control, but it was due to the mother who was spoiling her, and it didn't sit well with me. And when I didn't never address the child, but I addressed the mother first. And the mother kind of like, she knew I was right about what the girl was doing was wrong, but for as far as me saying anything or chastising, giving her chores or whatever, that was like, it was kind of wavy. She really didn't want to let me do it the way that I thought it was best to be done. Because she had a, how can I say, she knew it was wrong, but like I said, she was taking it easy on her. And in reference to me, I think my mother kind of like, well, I know he deserves a good ass whooping, but you might really give him a good ass whooping. I can give him an ass whooping, that's okay. And so then you have, it's kind of, it's hard to balance that because, you don't want your son or whatever to get killed or get mopped up or then you'll beat real bad because you still have that affection and love for him. You don't want to see a stranger give him what he deserves. You want to, address it with compassion, and you think that you can do it better. So therefore, you're not going to let an outsider, discipline your child.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, and then take it easy.
Bye-bye.
After party.
Now, let me read some comments. Doug said, you be adding new wrinkles to the peanut. Stephanie said, hell, does the mom love a hard-to-love kid? Right. And I agree. It's hard for a mother to love a hard-to-love kid. So what do you expect a step-parent to do? Doug says, yes, I could if we had some kind of link. Only if they had some kind of link.
Doug. Only if you, but you gotta make some type of link. What you just said, you're saying blankly, can you love a hard kid?
If you don't have a link,
no.
But that's the important part. That's what the mother wants to see. If there's a link.
But you said it. No, you said it cold.
Let me read the comments.
You said it cold. Can you love a hard kid?
You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So, and you didn't answer the question.
Yes, I did.
Oh, now you're gonna say yes, you did.
Yes, I did. I told you it depends.
Okay. Lynette
You want
said,
to put yes or no?
Yeah, you know what I said.
No.
You know what I meant.
No, I'm not taking it like
Lynette
that. I told
said,
you that.
What's a
I'm not
hard
gonna
to
be
love
mixed into
kid? Douglas said, everyone has their limit. Yes, they do. We just want our kids to live. Sandy said, if you want your husband to be father-like to your child, you can't tie his hands when he sees him doing something wrong. Don't say anything to my child means to ignore him. No, it
Yes.
means, no.
Yes,
means,
it does.
No, it means don't kill him.
No.
Lynette said, oh my God.
No.
Doug said, what about you, Andrell? Could you love a difficult child? Hell no, but I ain't going to hit him either.
So, in other words, she'll let it happen.
No. Listen, in my instance, to be honest, I will say how I feel and let it be known. And then I'm going to bring it to you. And I'm going to tell you, you better check his little ass or her little ass because she's doing X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to put my hand on somebody else's kid. I'm just not going to do it.
All right. Reverse it. Well.
No, so God, a hard-to-love kid is not necessarily one that's not yours. It's a hard-to-love kid. That kid is always doing stuff. I thought I made it clear. And Lynette said, yes, it does. Put it in reverse. What do you mean?
What you just said. The kid is being so on and so forth. You're going to bring it to me and bring it back to me. No, I'm saying now reverse it. It's brought back to you. What do?
I whip their ass.
You know she lying, right?
I will whip their ass. No.
Wait.
Come on now.
No.
Come on.
Yes. She won't do that. But that's it. Because when they're to the point where...
What else you want me to do? Kill a kid? The child?
Yes. The emphasis. Okay.
The child?
Child. Right.
That's what I said.
Wow. All right. I can't.
He can't.
I can't.
Stifled again. Stifled again.
Look, at the end of the day, that type of BS, see, that's where I'm coming from. This puts an extremely huge monkey wrench in that relationship across the board. That's crazy.
Okay, so listen.
Yo.
I want to close out the show because we are over our time. At the end of the day, Drell, would you allow Ben to discipline your child if he or she is out of control?
No.
Sir God, did you just hear what I said? If you love my child...
No.
And I know you love my child, absolutely.
No.
Absolutely. But if I know that you don't like my child, or I feel like you feel a certain way towards my child, no, I'll take care of it. Bottom line, I'll do it. Let me know what's going on. I'll take care of it.
You ain't took care of it.
Child. Listen, don't be putting my business in the street. On that note, I want to close out this show by stating, drinking. Oh, who's going to clean that shirt? Do I know my role as a wife? Was I taught my role as the wife? Do I scrub it? Oh, mommy, he said no. So my mom will check you on that. But at the end of the day, so God said, it's okay, bro. It's okay, bro. It's okay. Okay, so let me close out. At the end of the day, in all honesty, that's okay, Doug. You can call BS. He is tight, Lynette. He is tight, but he'll be all right. Him in that wine-stained shirt. So, at the end of the day, honestly, we all need to play our role right as a mom, as a dad. We need to be there in our children's lives and make sure that we play that role and be that, not play the role, be the role as a role model for our kids. Because if we don't, they're going to take it to the streets and we're going to find our loved, our precious jewels, our children in jail, dead, prostituting, whatever the case may be. Let's love our children and be there for our children And on that note, I want you guys to have a beautiful weekend. I will see you guys later. Take care. Have a great weekend.
Peace.
Say bye, babe. Say bye.
Peace.
Okay, peace. Bye, y'all.